Well, hello again. This is Michael Wolf Grafstein for Functional Manual Therapy, and this is part two of prevention of sport injury. And actually, while I'm at it, the bottom line is you can do as much as you want. You're never going to prevent an injury, but what you want to do is minimize an injury. I'll say that again. You want to minimize the opportunity for injury. So in part one, I said go get a physical, see your family doctor. I said make sure you have the proper strength, so power, endurance, those types of things for your sport or activity, and make sure you get enough sleep. Those were the first three things. Now let's move on. So the next thing is make sure, so number four would be make sure you get a good warm up, however you do it. So these days, what's happening with a lot of grassroots sports, high level sports, they do what's known as a dynamic warm up. And when you do a dynamic warm up, what's happening is you're mimicking the actions that you're going to be doing when you participate in the sport. What used to happen is people would jog for a bit and maybe do a bit of what we call static stretching. Well, that's kind of been replaced by this dynamic warm up, and with higher level athletes, they're also doing things called activation, getting the muscles to fire, 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 those types of things. And that's excellent. The fifth thing you want to make sure about for prevention or minimization of sport injury or injury in athletics or whatever you're participating in is make sure you have the proper equipment. So that could be your footwear. That could be the socks that you're wearing. It could be the helmet that you're wearing. Shin pads in football / soccer. A lot of people, they have shins that are this long. They get shin pads that are this long. That makes no sense whatsoever. So you got to make sure you have the right type of equipment. You got to make sure the equipment is clean. You've got to make sure the equipment is functional. Very, very important. Very difficult to get on the ice if your skates are dull. So that's really important too. And number six for, let's try that again. So number six, so number six, as far as minimization or prevention of sport injury, is the environment. Make sure you check out the environment. So if you're in a gym, just make sure things are put away. If you're on a pitch or a soccer or football field, check around. Are there any droppings of any type there? Is there garbage? Are there things that really shouldn't be in there? Syringes, things along those lines, things that not everybody thinks about. Are the lines well done? Can you see the inbounds and outbounds and all those types of things? So it's very important. Your hockey arena, you got to make sure, is the ice hard? Is it soft? Those types of things. Is anything sticking out from the boards that you need to know about? All this kind of thing. Your helmets, do your helmets fit? Do you wear a visor? Can you see through your visor? All those types of things. So remember, as much as we want to prevent an injury, injuries are going to happen. So let's go to the next thing and let's see what we can do to minimize. To summarize part one and part two, so from part one, we want to get a physical. We also want to make sure our strength, our power and endurance, or our fitness level is appropriate for the activity that we're doing. That's two. Number three, what I find is really, really important and a lot of people forget about is get your sleep, get your rest, and get your recovery. Number four, make sure you have a proper warm-up. Do what you need to do so that you are physically ready. Number five, make sure you're wearing the proper equipment. Fairly straightforward. And the environment that you're in, make sure that the environment that you're in is safe. So those are the first six things for prevention of sport injury, athletics, or whatever activity you want to participate in. I do have a few more things that I'll bring in part three, and a lot of that has to do with your mindset. So this is Michael Wolf Grafstein for Functional Manual Therapy. You can visit me at mikegrafstein.com to see what other things that I do. And I am in York Region in Richmond Hill, Newmarket, if you need to come in for an assessment or treatment. Again, thanks so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to watch this video and maybe reinforce, remind, or learn a few things that you didn't know before. But I know you are all smart, and this is just a simply friendly reminder. Again, this is Michael Wolf Grafstein for Functional Manual Therapy, and I want to thank you for taking time out for listening to part 2 of Prevention of Sport Injury. Bye for now.